grab as much food as they can down here, and the corals too, with all those polyps and sponges open. Everything's open and big.
Jenny, can you expand a little bit more on interesting feeding behaviors?
Well, as Danny was pointing out earlier, those brittle stars that climb up corals. That's a nice jelly.
Up close and personal.
A little ctenophore.
Looks like we might have a bit of a potentially a wall, or maybe it's just a big boulder in the upper left of the screen. Can we take a look at that?
Wow, that was really close. Yeah, he did.
We'll come back to that in a little bit. Well, most of these organisms really are relying on stuff that's drifting into them, so that's what having those long tentacles and arms are good for, to catch food. And there's a pycnogonid, a sea spider, just to the left of those lasers.
This looks like the type of habitat what we were looking for, so we might want to come up on this a little bit and then start moving east again towards 2C. Yeah, we have a predatory tunicate off to the left there. Let's just explore this feature a little bit, see what we're looking at, and then let's keep moving along.
For the sea stars in the substrate, they're just stretched out, trying to catch as much as they can in the mud.
Okay, yeah. So let's maybe.
Looks like it flattens out here a little bit.
Sure. Let's move to the east then, and maybe come back down that a little bit and see if we can follow that along.
Oh, can do.
It's a nice crab.
So jump off that cliff there and follow it.
Yep.
Cool.
I like it.
Little ledge under there. The cucumbers that we see down on the seafloor, they kind of suck in the mud and get nutrients out of the mud, and I believe
Like
all the
I've been
cucumbers
farming
just
again.
have one
Porches full of mud.
hole for sucking food in and excreting what they don't digest. That's an interesting feeding strategy. Little octopus up there. They're more mobile, so they can go after prey. They probably are eating crabs and shrimp down here. So we have a couple different feeding strategies. One thing about deep sea corals down here, they're in the dark, so they don't have any symbiotic algae like tropical reef corals have. They fully rely on food that drifts down.
So look, that might not have been a large feature.
No, it kind of
petered out. So
did, yeah.
well, let's keep moving to the east towards 2C, to our next waypoint.
moving east to 2C. Pardon my dust cloud.
There's a interesting vase sponge there. I'll take a zoom on that if you can. Oh, we've got a lot of sediment, but
I do. I'm dragging a bunch around on the porch here.
Okay.
Need to come up and clean it off a bit. You can see the mud on the porch there in the bubble cam. So when we go sideways, that streams into our view.
To our ROV pilots, we have questions about navigation on steeper slopes. Do steeper slope environments add additional challenges to navigating the ROVs?
Well, one of the challenges that we don't have is burying the front of the ROV in the mud like I just did there. There, depending on how you're transversing the slope, it's actually easier because we have a wall and we just maintain a distance off the wall to come up and down or move along. But it can be challenging when, especially when there's overhangs and you're coming up to stuff that you can't see above you. But thankfully we have an eye in the sky Argus to keep us out of trouble. It's definitely a lot more fun than stuffing the vehicle in the mud.
So yes, we have 2 ROVs underwater right now, Argus above Hercules and helping Hercules do some great sample collection and use its super powerful video capacity.
God damn it.
Nav, on my HIPAC screen, which is Argus and which is Herc?
The green square is Argus, and the circle with the cross in it is Herc USBL, and the circle with the ears and the proboscis is Herc DVL.
Thanks.
I'll give you a little bit better resolution if you reload that web screen, if you're using the web version. If it's on the right screen, it's probably just my version.
Okay, I just refreshed. That looks good. So Guy and I are conferring over here, and he is... Okay. Yeah. Okay. I was going to suggest we head up slope again, but really we just want to get to 2C because that looks like the most promising habitat. So we'll just stick to our plan of moving the ship along.
Yeah, that sounds, if we move up slope anymore, we can deviate the ship's course over ground, but we'll move faster if Argus is kind of behind Herc. If we're pulling the tether through the water sideways, then I'm dragging Argus around more.
Okay.
But this is a good offset here because we're up the hill a little. And
yeah, this is looking interesting.
There might be a few features coming up here in the sonar.
Okay, great.
Hopefully.
I can zoom in a bit if we're at a safe distance.
Sure, yeah. Laser zoom.
Okay.
What are all these holes in the rock about? Are those from worms that have drilled in?
I think it's a... Is it from worm? Is there also some erosion happening in these different layers of sedimentary rock, Guy?
So I didn't hear the question, sorry.
I was just asking about the holes in the rock. It looks like animals may have drilled in because some of them look really perfectly round. Certain types of worms maybe, or what are all these holes in this rock?
Yeah, I think that those are burrowing organisms.
And then you can see that mud sort of draped on top.
Oh.
Looks like there's some hydroids and things
Let's
too.
get some shots of that.
Yeah, similar coloring to the one we saw earlier today.
Yeah. So one thing Caitlin was saying is after octopus lay eggs, the female, she'll stay with her eggs for a while and eventually, and she doesn't eat at all during that time, and so she'll eventually die. And this could be an octopus that's laid eggs and is spending out its energy, maybe.
So that could put, this species is different than the one we've seen so far on this watch, and this could be Bathypolepus, but I'm not sure about that. Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Okay.
Moving on.
Yeah, it's strange to see it so white, because it could be whatever color it wants to be, and it doesn't look very active.
Mm-hmm.
So earlier we were explaining that Argus helps Hercules stay out of trouble, but one of our viewers was curious what keeps Argus out of trouble.
The navigator.
Gravity.
The navigator helps to keep both of us out of trouble. They have bathymetry over there, and they are paying close attention to which way the ship is moving, and they're also looking over our shoulder.
And the Mesotech sonars.
Yeah, we have, true that. We have the 2 sonar screens in the upper right where the pilots are sitting up here on the navigator.
Mm-hmm.
And the one on the right is Hercules, so that's kind of some pink and red there looking at the cliff. And the one on the left is Argus, so it's looking out 100 meters and trying to stay away from those cliffs. It's probably why the sonar is in front of the navigator, huh?
They put us in front of the Herc screen too, since it's the most interesting, but the least useful for my job.
Well, thanks.
For those of you watching the quad view, I'll go ahead and put the
Can I take a look at that crab?
sonars.
Get a zoom on that, please?
I'm hoping
Sure.
not to dust it, so I'm coming wide a bit here first.
All right. Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, let me come around and come upwind a little. Yeah, you can go laser zoom there.
All right. Zooming in.
Oh, he's got a friend.
Yeah, it looks like 2 crabs.
Oh, we saw this earlier. There were 2 crabs having a conversation.
Definitely a conversation.
Crab talk.
Mm-hmm.
The little coral. An anemone.
Oh, you're going to gross me out, Wayne.
Yeah, most
Yeah.
crab species use sex from the bottom, so hard to say.
Yeah.
Great, good shot.
Okay. Coming wide.
Looks like it could possibly be an Oregon hair crab from my looking at my references. Also looked like there might have been a black coral underneath them.
It's like riding a bike, eh, Dan?
Yes. Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
No,
so Herc
okay.
has 6 thrusters that help it fly, but also can move loose sediment around.
Ship's going to be a little rough, I think.
Yeah, and back to the those that are watching the quad view on the stream, the 2 screens that you see, or the 2 circles that you see, that's our sonar that are mounted on the vehicles to tell us how close they are to the bottom or the vertical wall surface near the vehicle. So even if it does get cloudy or we can't see very well, we know how far the vehicles are, or how close they are to the bottom and to the hard surfaces.
So it
Interesting jump.
looks like we've covered about half the distance where we were from the start of our watch to the point we're trying to get to. I'm looking at some of the data coming in from Herc. It's about 2 degrees Celsius down there at the bottom of the ocean. So very cold and dark and an inhospitable environment, but a lot of biodiversity down there. A lot of organisms that are adapted to live in this really deep habitat.
And that's actually pretty uniform across the globe. At the deeper depths, under 2,000 meters, almost everything is 2 degrees. It's pretty uniform across the whole planet. There's definitely no sunlight getting down this far to warm anything up. And there's all that water is like a insulator. So
Takes me a while to get used to the
That's our
Z-bias
oxygen down
thing,
here.
so all my training is never thrust up, but with the Z-bias you're not thrusting up, you're just not thrusting down anymore.
Yeah.
I have to plow for a while to remember that. The first shift I'll turn it way down, and then it'll take me like 3 shifts to get it.
Hercules also has the capacity to take measurements using a CTD instrument. So that's taking conductivity, temperature, and DO, dissolved oxygen. And we see that, cold water does hold more oxygen than warmer waters. It's another important correlation. This is just some of the water chemistry, though, that we're consistently sampling on these expeditions.
There's a separate oxygen sensor on Herc. The CTD is
Oh, thank you.
conductivity, temperature, and
Depth.
depth.
Oh, thank you.
Which we also have, right? CTD and an oxygen.
And an
Yep.
oxygen sensor. Great.
So as we're approaching 2C, we can see on the HYPACK screen that the contours are, looks like it could be getting steep before 2C exactly. So we may want to kind of slow down as we get there and start to explore that area kind of from downslope towards upslope. And then it looks like it'll probably flatten off a little bit upslope. So we might want to kind of explore around that area a little bit.
Roger.
Seeing some sea pens here. Ooh,
Right.
that.
Photobomb.
Interesting view of the fins. Ventral and dorsal.
Ooh.
He's gone.
Bye-bye.
Oh, no. Encore.
Ooh. Look at that eye.
He definitely wants his few minutes.
Yeah.
I'm as
Limelight.
near focused as I can be. We actually touched his tail with our lens. That's crazy. This fish.
Well, it's a really beautiful day out here at Cordell Bank National Marine Sanctuary. This is often can be a difficult place to
wide.
get work done. And
Ooh.
it is just a blue sky day. Seas aren't too bad. And it's just been incredible to be out here. The type of work that we're doing now, the technology is really pretty recent, and this is the latest and greatest technology, but there's been, even though we're looking at this for these places for the first time, there's been a long history of science and exploration in Cordell Bank National Marine Sanctuary, and one of the first samples that exist from this area are from the ROV Albatross, which did some surveys up and down the coast in the 1850s, and so there's samples, they used to sample by dredging and trawling along the seafloor to collect samples. So we have much more precision tools now, but they're samples that date back a long time that are now in the Smithsonian Museum.
Cordell Bank actually became known as a unique biological place because of some really intrepid scuba divers up on the bank itself. A group of divers out of East Bay, led by Robert Schmieder, formed and called themselves Cordell Expeditions, a nonprofit organization, and they went and explored Cordell Bank on their own time, on their own dime, and found it to be this amazing
Wait, you can
place.
zoom in there a bit if you want. We're waiting for Argus.
And it was actually their exploration on their own that grew awareness to other science institutions, that put it on the map as this really important biological place, leading to it becoming a national marine sanctuary. We just got to see some of those divers recently at our 30th anniversary event, and I hope some of them are tuning in.
Next slide.
Those divers in the 1970s and 80s bringing back images of Cordell Bank for the first time is what led to its designation, and ever since then, the Cordell Bank itself, what the sanctuary is named after, has been explored through a variety of technologies and submersibles and ROVs, but the technology has really changed, and especially with high definition cameras has allowed us to see so much more and to learn so much more from the imagery that we're able to collect.
I've been with the sanctuary long enough. We used to, our first explorations, we had video footage on little mini DV tapes and VHS tapes. And now it's,
Go
I
for the
remember
C-pen
high
if you
def
want.
coming
Okay.
on,
With the critter on it.
changed everything.
Oh, yeah.
We've had DVDs, and now we just use MP3 files.
And someone from our audience was just curious if we could be a little more explicit about where Box Canyon is in relationship to San Francisco Bay.
That's really good. Cool.
Okay, moving on.
All right, coming wide.
So we are north of San Francisco Bay. We're northwest of San Francisco Bay. So from San Francisco, if you went up to Point Reyes, the actual point, and then headed west, we'd be out about 20
nautical miles.
miles,
from the gate.
68 from the gate, yeah, and then about how many miles is that from the point?
We're 55 kilometers from the lighthouse at the point.
55 kilometers.
So that's about, yeah,
35.
35.
Yeah. Okay, 35 miles west of Point Reyes.
And we're just a little northwest of
Can I
Cordell
get
Bank
a
itself.
zoom on that, please?
Sure.
That C-pen, yeah, the C-pen at the bottom of the screen, if you're able to
The
tilt
purple one?
down. Yep, so that looks like May have some benthic ctenophores on, oh, actually that's a worm tube. You can see the worm appendages at the top, and those look like
Zoom out
benthic
just a touch,
ctenophores.
Wayne, to get
Do they
the,
attach?
Sorry?
zoom out just
to
a
things,
touch to
Daniel,
get
Okay,
the
or
top
are
of
those
the...
coming
like
wide.
free-floating that are
Just
stuck?
there.
Oh, I see.
No, they are always attached to their
Perfect.
to other organisms or something on the seafloor.
Cool. I've never seen them.
I didn't know about these until we came out on Nautilus in 2017 and collected some. That's a great photo. Thank you.
Welcome.
There's something moving along. Oh, it must be a brittle
Something
star.
He has a
is moving there.
brittle star at the base of that worm tube.
Yeah.
We can zoom out
Okay,
and
coming
move
wide.
on.
Moving on.
So Box
Yeah,
Canyon
first
is a little bit
successful
northwest
landed
of
zoom.
Cordell Bank itself.
Yeah.
It's kind of like smack dab in the middle of the sanctuary, actually. Looking on this map.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. We can let the lens do a lot of the work and not get as close as
Yeah,
you
copy.
could.
You have to be stable to zoom in.
Oh
though,
no,
so
yeah.
I have to-
Were you on the bottom just now?
That time I was just barely touching.
Yeah,
which
because
is-
it was very stable. I was like, this is nice.
I will just park that in the bubble cam there, the muddy part of the porch into the slope.
Okay, got it. So you had an edge touching.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
an edge. That's all you need.
No, it provided a lot of stability. It made the image much nicer.
The lights seem to be, are all the lights? All the lights are on, right?
The lights are on. That's the other thing. If you get too close, the items aren't illuminated properly because the lights are actually
They seem to be
little
tilted up a
further
bit.
away.
Yeah.
So once the organism gets between the light and the lens, like this guy, he's not illuminated because he's too close.
How about now?
But he's pretty cool. Well, hello, friend. Wow.
He gave you the bat signal there at
He
the end.
did.
So thanks to everyone who's tuning in. We have people from all over the world: South Africa, India, France, Italy, Canada, the United States, Australia, New Zealand, the UK. We appreciate you tuning in.
Welcome everyone to Cordell Bank National Marine Sanctuary.
It's pretty exciting.
There's do you want to zoom on this guy?
Sure.
Okay. Dan, okay?
Yep, you can do the laser zoom at will.
Okay.
Or, yeah, just to frame it while I'm still floating there.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is a sea pen,
Uh-huh.
Distictotillum, I believe. That's great, thanks.
Okay, coming wide.
So that was a floaty one there, Wayne.
Mhm.
We never touched, I don't think.
No. It stayed
Yeah,
good distance.
that half zoom is good when you're floating. It doesn't
Yeah.
zoom out of the picture.
Just how do you spell that one, Dan?
I'll get it for you.
Another white one.
Octopus.
Another one of those octopus.
Yeah.
Do a half zoom there if you want, Wayne.
Seems to
Bathy
be
polypus, potentially.
seems to be that time of the season where they've all completed their brooding.
Okay, we are just about to the contours that we're interested in.
Okay.
Yeah, this ship is stopping.
Okay, great.
And it'll take a little bit for Argus to swing out so that we can make an informed movement.
Okay.
I don't see any change on that sonar though. Look how straight I can fly if I follow the white line from the ship.
Another Bathy polypus, or what we think may be that for an octopus, and the Disticotillum sea pen. That's kind of hard to say. I'm also seeing some spoon worms on the sediment. Those are those long white kind of lines that you see on the bottom. They then retract into the hole until...
Yeah, you can zoom a little if you want. I'll try and get them both in the shot there. Okay, roger. Zoom just a touch if you want, actually. Yeah, perfect, right there.
Oh, is it that
Just
worm?
so it
Is that the
pops.
spoon
Yeah,
worm?
yes.
That's a real interesting body shape.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like this big head. Oh,
Look, it's going.
is it sensing the light or the movement? Ooh, beautiful shot. The
Wow.
stars.
Goodbye.
With that octopus in the background.
And our sea pen, those are brittle stars?
Those are serpent stars,
Okay.
related to brittle stars. So as the previous watches have mentioned, the stars climb up onto these sea pens and corals to get up into the water column and feed.
But they don't feed on the polyps of the coral. Curious though how long they stay there if they squash polyps, losing the effectiveness of feeding for the
They're definitely
coral.
covering up feeding polyps. That could affect it. There are other organisms that do feed on the polyps. There are some snails that will eat coral polyps, and they generally don't kill the coral. They'll just eat a few polyps, but they can, if they do, nick the tissue on the axis. That can then expose the axis to being covered by other organisms that can be harmful to the coral. So we're great shots of this. Thank you. We can move on.
You can, well, you can try a quick full zoom there if you want.
There's
Or
a
zoom a bit more. We just happen to be
Is that a
stable there.
picnic
You'll get the
pycnogonid. I
polyps.
almost said pycnopodia. A pycnogonid in the background there, the sea spider.
Okay.
Do you see that sea spider just to the
yeah.
left of the, take a zoom on that if you can do that.
Which one?
Right
This
there.
There you
Oh,
go.
the
It's right
lasers
on
were
right on
hitting
the lasers, yep.
Yeah, right. See if I
It's a little
I'll get
off
the
focus,
light on.
but
little
You
far.
zoom out for a bit. Let me see. What, I need to come ahead a bit to get the light.
I love seeing these shrimp just kind of stay neutrally buoyant, but yet their little swimmerettes are moving so quickly.
Okay, you can zoom in a bit there.
not sure what that little floaty jelly
That's good.
thing
Let me come up a bit.
right over the sea spider.
It's
Okay, a
exciting.
bit
There's
more
so
zoom
much to
if you
see.
want. Oh,
Sorry.
bit too much.
Sorry.
I'll
You're in it.
Oh.
I chased the zoom in it. That's it.
Show's
Moving on.
over.
Let's just touch the porch there. That's all it takes. It's so soft.
And for our audience, sounds like our currently on duty section on nautiluslive.org has been updated. So feel free to click on all of the team that's on board right now and peruse their bios.
Okay, we should be coming up on the feature that we're interested in. This is looking like a pretty high slope, so let's see if we can find some hard substrate. And then we'll want to explore this area a little bit.
Okay, it is getting steeper there. Still obviously soft bottom.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Welcome to the 4 to 8.
Thank you, thank you. Alrighty.
We have a few questions about the comb jellies potentially that came into view. One was about less than a minute ago, and one was a while ago. Any confirmation if those were comb jellies, bloody belly comb jellies, maybe?
I'll defer to Danny for that.
To this,
Towards 2C, are you ready for that?
I'd
Well-
like to take a look around here a little bit. Can we get some nice photos of this sponge? This is a sponge that we collected earlier that could be a potential range extension.
I think there's a
And-
cliff between me and 2C.
You're on the cliff, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty
Yeah,
sure,
so we want
yeah.
to take a look at this cliff as we approach 2C.
Yep, that's fine. The ship is actually behind Hercules, so,
Okay.
And he stopped, so.
and it stopped.
Oh, let go of it. Don't dust it.
That's great. We got a collection earlier, so we don't need to make a collection.
So you just want to come up the cliff face a bit here?
Let's see, where are we?
I'm looking basically
yep.
east into a wall.
Okay.
You can see in the sonar, it's right in front of me.
And
Yeah.
you see high pack, Danny? You're really centered between those two 50 meters.
Right. Sure, I think I'd like to maybe come up a little bit, maybe to that black contour above us, but then maybe also head back down and explore this high contour area, kind of up and down this wall a little bit.
Okay, so you comfortable kind of doing a jig-jag up and down?
Yeah, let's try that and see how that looks.
Can do up and down or left and right.
I think up and down as we're moving laterally.
Yeah.
All right, so what would be the best move for us?
I think we're good for now. I'm not sure how far she's going to want to go. So.
Okay.
How far are you? Do you have a sense how far you want to move north or south?
Maybe between these two, I'm not sure what those black contour lines are.
They're the 50 meters.
They're the 50? Okay, maybe in between those two.
Carrie, what was your question again before we had that
So
little
basically
discussion?
coming straight up. at
No
the moment
problem.
here, not
People were
going
curious
anywhere.
about the potential comb
can't hear
jellies
you.
that
It's-
came into
This
view.
ear's broken, so.
Well, I'm
Some
basically
looked
coming
red in
straight up.
color,
I'm not
another one was
going anywhere
purple.
at the moment.
Okay. I think we should get a bit of a ship move on.
Which way you want to go? Towards me?
And towards you and a little to the south so that you can start kind of doing this.
Sure. Okay. I'll buy that.
All right, so how does 118 sound?
Sounds good to me. That's the direction we've been moving.
Great.
Just,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, sorry, just to the right off screen is a bamboo coral. I'd like to get a zoom on that.
Stand by, Bridge. Sorry. Bridge nav. Can I have a 20-meter step bearing 118?
This guy here?
Yes.
The lasers?
Yep.
Lasers on, yep.
Yeah. You can zoom in a bit there, Ashley. That's good.
Interesting. It's kind of soft.
If you want, I can touch somewhere and get a better shot.
Sure. If we could just back up a little bit, yeah.
I'll need to perch somewhere to get a steady shot if you want to see the polyps. Let me just see if I can nudge into the wall here.
You know, this is not a great one to look at because I can't see the base all that well, so let's not stop here for this one.
Okay.
In terms of comb jellies, I don't know what those were, the purple ones. This is the first time I'm seeing those today. Danny, did you have any idea? The really rich purple ones?
No, I don't think I've ever seen those either.
I haven't seen them in our guides either.
There's another bamboo coral off to the bottom left of the screen.
Bottom left.
Bottom right, sorry, bottom right.
Bottom right.
My other,
Military
yeah,
right.
there you go. Oh, that might be a sponge, not a coral. What are we looking at here?
You can zoom in a bit there.
Yeah,
if you
let's zoom in. Oh, that is a coral.
That's good.
Okay.
Zoom out just a bit so it's in the picture. Thank you.
What do you think? Okay. All right. Thank you. We can, looks like we're going to get maybe to the top of this feature pretty soon, and then could kind of move to the, towards 2C and maybe come down the wall.
Okay.
Kind of in that zigzag form we were talking about.
So pilots, I think if I track down along this contour about 163, it will keep Argus kind of positioned where it is and you able to track up and down the wall. Does that sound reasonable?
Sounds perfect.
All right. Argus happy? Yeah. Bridge nav. Can I have a 20-meter step bearing 163?
Seems to kind of start to roll off here. You want to move back down?
Yes.
Copy. Down and to the southeast.
So for all of our viewers out there, it's just about time for the dinner watch change. So some folks might be a little quiet on SBL as they're switching out to go eat dinner. They'll get swapped back in, and then everyone who's normally on this watch will come back in about 30 minutes.
Bridge nav. Another step, please, same bearing.
Thank you.
USBL looks better. Did Miles tweak something?
I have no idea. He was pushing some buttons over there.
Pushing the magic make USBL better button.
I think so, yeah.
Wish I knew where that was.
Me too. Roger, I'll find something to look at. That's why both videos are bouncy. I'll come back up a bit. You can decrease your delta a little, that'll help. Herc, U-turn.
Beautifully executed U-turn.
Looks like the ship's going more south-ish than 163-ish.
Agreed, yeah. But I don't actually know if that's a bad thing. How do you feel about your position on the wall for Argus?
As long as the 20-meter range of death ring is clear, I'm happy. I don't know about you.
All right, we'll try. She has it set to 163. Go in a little bit more, perhaps.
But Antonelle's decreased her delta to accommodate for my impatience, so.
So you want to keep it moving more southward?
No, it feels like we're going that way a bit, that 163.
Yeah.
Yeah, try that again.
All right. Bridge nav. Another step, same bearing, please.
Yeah, look into the wall and you'll get a sense of which way it's running. Perpendicular to that heading, I believe.
That's what the contours say. Is that what real life tells us?
Yeah, that's what Mr. Mesotech says. Kind of, sort of, wait for the scan. I can come up while we're waiting. Do the zig and zag.
Ah, there's the ESPL I'm more used to, confetti version.
We were wondering what magic button. That might be the ship is stopped magic button.
that may be. That was quick. Are you ready? Awesome. All right. Peace out, you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
I think we were planning a move, Miles. I'm not sure if we executed.
There's a move in.
There is a move in? Oh, I'm this guy, right?
Yeah. Oh, you're both these guys.
Huh?
You're both those. This is USBL, this is DBL.
Roger. Well, I want to move south.
Are you at 2C or are we going towards 2C?
We're just kind of zigzagging up and down the slope here towards 2C.
Is that a piece of line?
Yeah, what's that right ahead?
Nope.
Oh.
Stock sponge. Hey.
Oh, neat.
That large fish up to the right, I don't know what it was.
Fish to the right.
He kind of zipped away. He showed us his nose and left.
There seems to be some outcropping here above us. Do you want to keep going up or back towards 2C?
Let's have a look at it.
Copy.
Ship is holding right now. You're moving east.
Yeah, I'm just moving east a touch coming up the hill here. There's not a, oh that's, no, there's not a depth graph, history graph on this thing, is there?
This is our guest up.
Yeah, but not a Herc one.
No.
Good thing it would probably look embarrassing.
Last 10 minutes. The best I got.
That'll do. That's a Yankee.
Can we look at this bamboo coral, or are we on a move?
Okay.
We can give it a try.
We are holding station. I was just about to put in a move to the east.
What'd I miss?
Argus has been pulled around.
Yeah, he's moving east, so you should get some slack there. You want to let it come around a bit so I can get this shot?
Yeah.
Can zoom a bit there if you want.
There we go. Zooming
Perfect.
in.
Thank you.
Let me. That's better. Yeah.
So we're actually interested in collecting these kinds of spindly bamboo corals. So I know you just put a move in, so this may not be the one to collect.
It was only a 10-meter move to give us some slack, so.
So we could do something like this.
Is it possible to collect here?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Coming wide.
Roger.
We'll get a close-up of him just a few minutes.
Great.
See if we can find a place to perch Herc there.
Argus is still fighting to come around.
Yeah, you want to let it come right around?
I'll get you there.
Trying to land now, so.
Yeah. I've given as much slack as I'm comfortable.
This looks pretty vertical.
It is.
You're just gonna park a corner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perch on a marble. Tempting perch on a marble. Might be a little close. Try the other way. Are you 180 with Argus, Antonio?
I'm 180.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know it's boring, but
Huh?
I know it's boring looking that way.
I just
I
can't.
need the leash at the moment.
Yeah, no worries. I'm pretty much down as far as I want to come.
You're crazy.
Oh.
Can you look at the craft with the bubble cam?
Yeah.
You can zoom in there, Wayne, and get the full-on.
All right, zooming in.
See if I can get the manipulator that's stuffed into the cliff out.
Wow. That is, I can get some really close-up shots.
All polyps all the time, that's all we ask.
There we go.
That's awesome.
Let's see, where am I here?
What are you looking for?
And come down a bit.
They're all on.
I don't
Checking my buttons here.
I don't see any banding on that one.
It's hard to see.
If we could.
Maybe pan down to the base?
Yeah, that's where we need to see.
I can
Just
tilt down a little.
That's where we need to be. Right there.
Sorry about the light. I know I'm a little close there.
I can
You
bump that up a bit.
tilt down the bubble just a bit for me.
And
perfect.
Yeah, that's.
Wow, it's difficult to see any black bands.
Do you have enough leash?
That's all I got, zoom-wise.
Is it usually difficult to see them?
No,